One of my favorite things to play with. Texas bark scorpions. Here we have a nice male. Look how long that tail is. Look at that. Look at that nice long tail. And then we have two females. These two right here. You see how short their tail is compares to the male. Notice, see how his is curled way up over his back? How that last segment is really long? If you live in Texas, you either learn to love these things or you learn to hate them, probably depending on whether you found them first or whether they found you. These things can deliver a pretty painful bite. As you can see, they're not overly aggressive. You can see the scorpions aren't really trying to sting me. You know, they're just responding to me the same way they would any other thing in the environment. Now if I threaten them, of course they will. Now here comes another scorpion. Let's see if he stings me. No, he's going to go around. He's avoiding. All this avoidance. Let's see if this one will sting me. I'll just even mess with him a little. No, it doesn't seem he wants to sting. What about this one? No. Actually, these things will sting you if they're provoked, but as long as they're not provoked, they're really not a problem. They're no more aggressive than any other animal. They're not as aggressive as a yellow jacket, let us say, even though their sting can be quite comparable at times. One of the things you have to watch out, of course, is the fact that they're camouflaged. And if you look real carefully, you'll notice there's one hiding right there. Look at that. But because they can just sort of hold on to the things, they can hide real effectively. They blend in fairly well. Let's see if I can do this one. Notice the male's a little bit lighter in color, a little bit lighter. These things are very active at night. As you can tell, they love to get around. The good thing is they're not particularly efficient climbers. You can see that they're really having a hard time. Now, if they can get a scratch, if they find a scratch on this really shiny and slick surface, if they can just get a little scratch on there and get some traction, he'll come over the top. But so far, you can see he's really struggling. He's not having any luck there. If he can just get that claw over, get him a little traction, he can get over the end, but he's just not finding it right now. Just not finding it. How frustrating that must be. So we can get this one to stretch out that tail for us. See how long is that tail? How long is it? Oh wow. You could get upset. You might be able to throw out a formidable lunge there, and you see him throw that tail back. The one thing you don't want to do is try to tail a scorpion. If you try from behind, they can throw the tail back, they can throw it to the side, and they can throw it very quickly. The Centroides vittatus, or the Texas bark scorpion like this, can really do it. They can do it so fast you can't even see what they're doing. In fact, he's actually striking there, but you're not seeing it because it looks real natural the way he does it. Sometimes they're just trying to push you away. That's all they're really trying to do. But they can also strike with remarkable efficiency. Supposedly scorpions are blind, but you'd never know it if you tried to go toe-to-toe one. You can't dodge the strike. You're not fast enough. They'll get you eventually. Mother Nature hadn't played this game for 200 million years before the dinosaur got here, only to lose it to you right now. I mean, she's on her game. She will get you if you play with them long enough. They'll come out of nowhere. One of the things that you can clearly see, now this is a red claw scorpion. This is Pandanus cavamanus. As you can see how different the bark scorpion is from the jungle scorpion. Now notice this one's going to use his claws to defend. He's not even going to try and sting. He's just going to pinch the crap out of me. Ow, you see that? Wow, fast. Really fast. They come in with that claw. Now he has a stinger. Ooh. He can sting, don't get me wrong. He can sting the crap out of you. He's more likely to pinch you first, give you a little warning, give you a little heads up. You know, yeah, I can hurt you if I want to. These will just, they're not going to try because their claws are very thin, but their sting is a real wallop. They can get you if they want to. I've been stung quite a few times by these. And I've had stings that were not really bad, and I've had some that were pretty dang rough. It just depends on how well they get you. A lot of times they get you in a very soft spot. They get you between the fingers. They get you somewhere where your skin isn't very thick. See how dark the female is. She's beautiful orange and brown stripes all over her. The short tail so she can have the babies on her back. The long thin claws tell you that these are some of the more venomous species, unlike the fat claw. Notice that the red claw scorpion, its sting can hurt, but really it's not very dangerous from a medicinal standpoint. On the other hand, the sting from the Texas bark scorpion can be, it's not always, but can be significant. A lot of people go to the hospital every year because these things can, if you get one in your shirt and it gets you really good several times, you could be in trouble. And also, if you're sick, if you're a small child, if you're elderly, if you have immunocompromised situation, if you have an extreme allergy to bites, you know, you have a real strong reaction to mosquito bites and things of that nature. But if not, these are really hardy captives. You can keep these things. These are over a year old, and I'm really surprised that they've lasted so well in captivity, especially considering they're just a native species. But it seems like every place has its version of the bark scorpion. Why? I guess because there's wood and bark everywhere. Scorpions are predators, and they keep termites at bay. One of the reasons I really like scorpions is not because scorpions are so cool, but just because of how much I hate termites, given the damage that they do. With 1,700 different species, more being found on a seemingly weekly basis, there's a lot to be understood, a lot yet to be learned. There's a lot we need to know. We know a little bit about their toxicity, about their venom. We know a little bit about some of their behaviors, but there's a lot of things that we don't know, and a lot of things we're still learning. So it's wonderful when people make discoveries. Genetics is revealing a lot about scorpions that we didn't know for a long time. A lot of species that we thought were distinct species turned out not to be, while on the other hand, some that we thought were quite distinct, or some that we thought were the same, were actually very distinct species, genetically speaking anyway. It's not uncommon to find these scorpions under wood, under leaves, under rocks. In the desert, you can find them under little plants, just anywhere and everywhere. They don't like being out in the heat, so they frequently hide under things. And that's why a lot of people get stung, is because they pick up something that has a scorpion on it. But like I say, as long as you don't threaten them, you know, as long as you don't hurt them, it's really not a problem.